18 plus videos. It is extra sexualized look of a woman. We're in a world of robots. Now it's gonna be very personal video. I just recently was scrolling a lot of Instagram videos or Facebook videos, and there are loads of ladies who give different kinds of advices, starting from makeup to spiritual things. And I thought that this trend on over-plump lips is going away. I was thinking, as far as it's becoming not that expensive, majority of women can have it. They do it everywhere now, but I can see more and more women inject their lips. But I'm not even about injections. I don't have anything against it. Like, you do whatever you feel is right for your body. If you want to make your lips bigger, do it. But when they are injected to such a degree that they become disproportionate to the rest of your face, I don't understand this, because you have to actually see the beauty of it when you're doing something. You're not gonna do something that is not beautiful for you, not proportionate for you personally. And again, as I said, I'm not against this. I know some women who do inject their lips. Maybe they feel like they're too small for their facial features, or when they got older, the lips shrinked in size a little bit, got a bit more tensed, so they need a little bit of soft flesh here around their mouth just to plump that area overall. I understand that. It's fine. Normally, you just don't see this. But when it's so big, especially on faces with small bone structure, with sharper bones, faces that by nature don't have that extra flesh, whether on their body or on their faces. And this one injected area, huge. And it looks like there's an infection there. It looks like it's just gonna explode. It doesn't have these natural wrinkles anymore like these girls. Nature gave them those lips, so they look gorgeous with them. They look very harmonious. And when we inject so much stuff, our tissue is stretching out. And it's interesting, I caught myself, I scroll watching short videos about makeup, about hair. There are some girls who give spiritual advice or advice for work, how to earn more money. And I noticed that I immediately scroll to the next one, because to me, I don't trust a woman who is doing something like that to her beauty. I'm not all natural. I love makeup, bleach my hair, and I would overdraw my lips sometimes. But I do think that my lips look proportionate for my face. Especially when I do bright lips, I like to slightly overdraw them. Sometimes you're just adding 1 millimeter with matte pencil, and I see other women do that, and it looks so beautiful. I just thought that this trend is gone. Because why would someone make their lips so disproportionately big to the rest of their face? Is it still statusy thing? I don't think so. Many people can afford it. I was thinking that's because 18 plus videos and movies are so widely popular, so this is that type of look. It is a look of an escort girl. It is extra sexualized look of a woman. Extra. It is something very extra. I don't see beauty in that. I even heard recently that there's a trend on how you do your lips. There's a lot of techniques on how you do your lips. Of course, I understand that there are some better cosmetologists who can do it much better, so you kind of don't even see that they're injected, kind of still flat, and they still have those wrinkles. Sometimes it does look harmonious. You don't have the attention on that. You don't feel like you're talking to hyaluronic acid. You feel like you're talking to a person. You look in her eyes, not to her mouth. All I see is very pretty women. They're all so beautiful. You can do so much to what you have naturally. You can do so many different makeups, so many different hairstyles. Today like this, tomorrow like this. You can change your hair color. You can experiment with clothes, with different styles, but it is so sexualized. It's almost like sitting naked in the car and talk about high spiritual things and giving you hints how to change vibration. So I noticed that I don't trust it. And then recently I found out that there are even trends on sizes of the lips. So first it was the rule that the lower lip should be that much bigger than the top lip, and now they have it equal. Top lip should be equal to the bottom lip. This is how they check. They put that straight, and kind of your top lip and the bottom lip both should touch that line like that. Maybe that's why they put so much, because they just don't check the front anymore. They just check just from the side. When I talk to people, I look straight at them. I don't talk to them like that. I have very sharp and slightly long nose because of my dad. He looks a little bit like John Lennon, but I love it so much. I love my nose. I would never cut it off. And I love my small lips too because I can vary. Sometimes I can wear them small and sometimes I can make them bigger, just overdrawing them slightly when I want plumpness here, some accent. My lips are so far from that. I can imagine how many milliliters I have to inject just to be on that standard so my lips would touch the calm. And that is just so funny to me. I just imagine like how, like, why don't we measure from the back, for example? Like if I turn my back to you, my lips should be seen kind of from here to here. It's not about any of these women because I love their nature. I just don't like the trend that is sometimes enforcing some women to think that there's something wrong with their lips if they're smaller, or that makes them think that they should inject the whole bunch in there just to be what. I know so many people from all over the world. In the place where I live, I meet a lot of very, very successful people actually in different areas from all over the world. From Italy, from Brazil, from China. I just don't have any friends with that lips. I know a couple people with injected lips. Probably this is just people who I'm hanging out with, but I see that all the time online. And I see more and more of them, more and more. And it's all same faces. They call it Instagram face. I'm sure they don't just inject mouth. It's just the most obvious thing. They do a lot of manipulations that we might not see. Sometimes it's just absolutely dead faces. They're frozen and they have this heavy middle section of their brows. And what's happening? Can you tell me? They call it Instagram face and they say that Instagram faces are everywhere. And every woman looks like any other woman. You know, time has its stamps. Time has its beauty stamps anyway. I have it. My face is a little bit Instagram inspired too, probably, you know? Like I follow those modern makeup trends, modern clothes trends, hair trends, and I'm not trying to follow this. It's just, I think nowadays fashion is, I can find something that really suits me that I like. And in the past, for example, in 2010s, in 2015s, and in 2000s especially, I couldn't find something that would look good on me. So I would go to England, to Europe to buy something because I found that they did have some timeless pieces more. So I do follow the trends, but more general trends, I would say, more timeless trends. There are still some micro trends and there are still some trends or exaggerated beauty, I guess. And every decade and every century in the past, they had it, of course. Some women were having these card sets, and I'm sure there were a lot of them who was making their waist 10 times smaller than the rest just to exaggerate that thing, like we do now. Yeah, there are always gonna be women who exaggerate that, but sometimes I feel like we're in a world of robots. Sometimes I feel like there's some people who look absolutely sane. And I'm not also talking about we all have to look like nature created us. Everybody can express themselves the way they want. I know some people who making yourself happier that you can correct. That's totally fine, but I'm just talking about blowing it out of proportion. I just want to hear, why did she do that? Why wouldn't she stop when she injected just a little bit for the first time? I would like to hear what you guys think about this. I really apologize if I said something that upset you. I didn't want to. It's just, I really want to understand why that big? Why is that exaggerated? And what kind of style is this? And why is it beautiful for them? I would love to ask them this question. Why is it pretty? Because sometimes you just don't look. You think, you see what others do. You think that if you do same, you're kind of on trend and you go and do that without looking. So I think best thing is just don't think, look everywhere in your life, not only in beauty, everywhere. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.